We're looking at the advanced Pacman file, which is also available to download on the Pacman page, and we'll just begin by looking at some of the things that are the same as the previous version. First of all, the arrow keys and all the movement controls are exactly the same in this game. The pack points that we created earlier are the same as well, and the scripts are the same. The collision detection with the baddies that we previously created works in exactly the same way. That's down here. And animating Pacman is done in exactly the same way. That's this section here as well. You'll see there's an extended part to that, which we'll get to later, but everything works in the same way. If I press start on this game, we'll just play it first of all, and if I whiz around quickly, you'll see that when we've collected all the pack points in this game, instead of finishing the game at that point, it should start level 2 for us. And almost done now, coming to collect the last pack point, and as we touch that one, you'll see the screen changes, we're into level 2. We can't initially move out of that first square, but that frame is disappears. So you've got different baddies this time, got apples appearing and other things that are part of level 2. So that's what we're going to look at how we introduce in this video. I'll just stop it there. Now the first thing to do when you're creating a second level is actually draw the background, draw the second level. And to do this, I used the kind of initial maze background that we've already used previously, and I made a copy of it, and then I edited the maze so it's a different pathway and the second level. So I'll just show you quickly how to do that. If we copy level 1 again, edit it, it's important to keep whatever you've chosen for your walls. In this case I've got black. Keep that as the same colour, because that's an important part of your script. If you remember when you programmed Pacman to use the arrow keys, he's told that if he touches black to not go through that colour. So if we change that colour, that would stop that working. So I've changed the colour of the path in my level 2, but the black walls remain the same. So we'll just do that really quickly as well. Let's just put a yellow colour in for the path. And to change the walls, I found the easiest way to do it is to use the rectangular tool and making sure you're using the filled version. I use this because it gives you nice straight edges, so rather than just using the paintbrush, for example, if I wanted to take out maybe this center black block here, you can click and drag a rectangle over it and sort of line it up with the paths around it to check it, make sure it's the same width, and you get nice straight edges. It seems to be the easiest way to do that. So occasionally I needed to use the zoom tool to get in a bit closer to make sure I'm sort of perfectly lined up with edges and that kind of thing. Just take out the sort of doorway through this section, and it's a bit easier to see that you're level with other sections if you've just zoomed in a little bit, that kind of thing. And you can see how it creates a different maze quite quickly. What you'll have to do is occasionally it might create coordinate points that aren't on that original coordinate help sheet, so they're quite quick and easy to figure out. For example, if you put your mouse in the center of that square I've just created a moment ago, I can see the coordinate. It's showing up as 0, minus 91. In effect, if you round any of the 91 up to minus 90, not minus 91, then it'll be in sort of straight lines with everything else. So if you round everything to be either, they should all finish with 0, 45, 90, those sorts of things that you can already see on that kind of help sheet. Back on Pacman's script, the other thing we've changed is what happens when the game finishes. So previously when we got to 32 points the game finished there, and I had to take that away, so hitting 32 points in fact triggers off starting the next level. So to do that we've added one of those broadcast blocks again, and this one isn't there, so when we get to 32 points it's going to return Pacman to the center, it'll play the noise, and it's going to broadcast a message which I've called level 2. And level 2 starts off all sorts of different things. So first of all, when that broadcast message is sent, the first thing that activates is making the baddies from level 1 disappear. So you can see here, when I receive level 2 hide, they've got that bit of script added to their instructions now. I've also added a show block in to when the game is started, so if they have been hidden and the game is restarted, they always reappear. The pack points from level 1, the white dots in this case, have the same thing. When I receive level 2 hide, and again I've put the show block in to make sure they reappear when the game is restarted. I've created a second set of pack points. If I scroll down in my sprite window, you'll see these kind of purpley coloured pack points appear, and again, when I receive level 2, in this case they're going to show. They've also got this other bit of script. When the flag is clicked, they're hidden, so when they start the game they're not there. When the message for level 2 is triggered, they appear, and below that it's the same instructions that we saw previously for the pack points, that if they're touching Pacman, they play the chomping noise, they give you a point, and they hide. So that's exactly the same. The other thing I've created is another set of baddies. I've got 3 more baddies, which are these kind of skull characters, and again all their scripts, their movement scripts, at the very top of that, again it says when I receive level 2. So the main things that script, the top bit of that script covers, is they're told to wait 6 seconds. That 6-second wait is while the piece of music is playing, the intermission music, so they'll be still while that's still playing. They've got their starting position, which just like before, and again they're told to show at that point. They've also got the little block at the side here. When the game is started, they're hidden, but if the score gets to 68, that's the end of the game, with the pack points from both levels kind of total together, then they hide, which is something we added previously to the other baddies as well. So if we look at the rest of their script, you can see most of it is just made up of glide blocks in exactly the same way we created our baddies earlier. But what we've added in, just for a bit more interest, and I suppose to make these baddies a little more difficult to outwit, being level 2, is some of these purple blocks, which you'll find in the looks category. And if you go to looks, about halfway down there's a block that says change. It'll say colour effects initially, but the little drop down box where it says colour, there are a variety of different visual effects that you can create for your characters, things like changing their colour or their brightness, or making them twist and swirl using the whirl on there. But the one I've used is the ghost effect, which makes them transparent. So at certain points, as the ghosts are moving around, you can see with the glide blocks there, they're told to change their ghost effect by 25, and that adds some transparency. A few more moves down the script there, that is applied again to them, so they go even more transparent, and even more transparent after a little while, so they're kind of fading away as they're moving around, making it more difficult for Pacman to see where they are. And then shortly after that we've got clear graphic effect, which you'll find again just a couple of blocks down in the looks category, and that puts them back to normal. So they kind of fade, and then they're reset back to their visible self again, and that process is repeated a little further down the script again. Fade, and then clear graphic effect puts them back to normal. And you'll also see right at the top of the stack I've also put a clear graphic effects block in there, so when the level starts they're always fully visible until they start moving around. And that again is just repeated for my 3 baddies. They've got the same fading effects in amongst different movement blocks.